This episode is brought to you by Spira Capital. Founded by 2008 Ron Brown scholar Ethan Monreal Jackson, Spira Capital is your fractional C-suite. Whether you're a startup or a venture firm, a freelancer, or a family office, Spira Capital gives you the scale, support, and stability to grow. Stop worrying about stuff like bookkeeping, accounting, FP&A, operations, HR, payroll and benefits, or your international workforce. Let Spira Capital run those for you so you can run your business. To learn more, visit spiracapital.co. That's C-O. Welcome to The Value of One, The Power of All, a podcast created by the Ron Brown Scholar Program. Since 1996, this organization has been investing in the next generation of African American leaders. And this podcast highlights the stories of the people that make this program special. I'm your host, Ray Pryor, 2015 Ron Brown Scholar. And in this season, presented by the Ron Brown Venture Lab, we're highlighting founders in our alumni network who are changing the world through innovation and entrepreneurship. We'll dive into their personal upbringings and backgrounds, the origins of their ideas, and the successes and challenges they've had along the way. Today, I'm excited to share my conversation with Tyrone Davis, 2018 Ron Brown Scholar and the co-founder and CEO of Miyagi Labs. Let's just start with you giving a high-level overview of what Miyagi Labs is and what you guys are building right now.
Yeah, so Miyagi Labs, we like to think about it as the Shopify for AI-generated courses. So we take video content and using generative AI, we convert that video into a structured course, questions, summaries, an AI tutor you can converse with, give it context from various parts of the video or the course and get a top-notch tutoring experience using AI.
So tell me a little bit about the origin of this and that your background is diverse and impressive. It was both a chess master as a kid but spending time in finance in New York. How did you land on wanting to start a company at all, and then two, on the Shopify for AI generated courses?
Yeah, I think I've always wanted to. Well, I've always been a leader naturally. I think I went to MIT. I studied computer science. I was the president of the chess club at MIT. So that was one sort of origin of me, leading an organization, small, I'll bet, but an organization. I had a lot of pride in trying to sort of outcompete the other clubs and have a higher attendance than the other clubs or more members, and how to make the experience great, ordering pizza, tournaments, make it fun. And I love that experience of leading a club and trying to build it into a bigger, better experience for people on campus. So that was an origin of leadership and entrepreneurship, you could say. I went into finance, worked at a hedge fund in New York after college, and that was great. I still love finance to this day, but in my heart and in my mind, it was always something saying that I wanted to lead something and create something and build something. Yeah. And it's hard to reconcile that with 9 to 5 job, having a boss. It's just very hard to reconcile that desire that entrepreneurs tend to have inside to build something. And I knew that wasn't going to just disappear. I studied computer science. I was well versed in the AI space. All the headlines, ChatGPT came out, and I said I would regret it massively if I just missed on the advent of this technology, if I didn't try to dive in and create something at this point. I thought there was no better time than now with AI and ChatGPT being only 2 years old at that time. So I said I need to bet on myself. I need to bet on this technology. It was also a macro bet. I thought the Trump administration would be very friendly towards AI. So I thought really no better time than to build something now. And then, yeah, I got it. I applied to YC with my co-founder and we got in, and that was a catalyst to say like, okay, this is a good time to go 100% in.
I know you all worked through a few different ideas heading into YC. What were some of those, and what were kind of pivotal moments that led to you landing on Shopify for AI generated courses as opposed to the other things that you went in thinking that you were going to build?
Yeah, so my co-founder and I, we both went to MIT. We've been friends for 5+ years since college, and we came into YC wanting to do an ed tech startup. My co-founder is very passionate about education. I myself started a nonprofit spreading chess education around the world. So we both were passionate about education, and Almost everyone can agree that AI will change how people learn. People don't know how exactly, but you can agree that it will change it. So we wanted to do something in the education space, and we came in trying to build an AI chess tutor. Can we make AI solve the explainability problem in chess? A lot of chess engines are very strong, much better than humans, but they don't explain why a move is good or bad. It just sort of tells you this move is good, go play it. So we tried that, and LLMs just aren't good at chess right now. Chess is too complex. We tried to make it work. We tried to give LLMs context, better context about the board state to see if it would improve performance in explaining positions. It didn't. Did some fine tuning as well. So there was a technological barrier there. So we had to pivot. So we pivoted after like basically a week of trying a few things. And it's an easy pivot. It's sort of like to make a dent in the chess world, you sort of need this to work and be great. And it wasn't great. So we pivoted. That was pretty easy. Then we moved towards uh, a language learning app based off of videos. So it sort of coincided with, there was a move where TikTok was going to be banned this year in January. And you had Americans going to Red Note or Xiaohongshu, which is the Chinese sort of version of TikTok, or the local version. So you had Americans going over to Red Note. And we thought, okay, well, how can we teach Americans Chinese using short form videos? So we made an app in a few days where you can copy and paste Red Note video link into our app, and it'll convert the video into study material. And we thought that was cool. Thought it made sense, coincided with some larger macro event. We launched and got mediocre feedback. Not many people used it, and sort of the YC model is to launch and then get early traction quickly and have that dictate to keep investing time or try to pivot. And yeah, got mediocre feedback and thought maybe not something to move forward with. And then also maybe it's not good to just try to, hop on a hype wave, because eventually that hype dies down and then people are not going to be on a red note sustainably for the long term. So yeah, after about a week and a half or 2 weeks, about 2 weeks or so, I'd say, of like marketing it and having people use it and just not a lot of feedback, we said, okay, what else can we do here? Like, our mission was to help people learn. We came into YC with that. So then we said, how did we learn? And we both learned from YouTube the most. And we said, how can we make the learning experience from YouTube videos better? So we said, let's augment YouTube videos with just more context and using LLMs to make it better, how we would have liked to learn. So we took a video, transcribed a video, YouTube video, and had AI process it and make multiple choice questions, short answer questions, summaries. And that's how we landed on this idea that we're currently doing, Miyagi Labs. We launched it on Reddit, on a few Reddit posts, Reddit threads, and got fantastic feedback. We were the top Reddit post on like 9 different threads. People were like, this is very cool. Much better feedback than the second idea that we did with the short form video tutor. So you said, okay, this may have legs, and then let's run with this a bit more. So that's sort of how we rationalized the pivots.
Yeah, I appreciate you sharing that. Who are the types of folks that you imagine being able to use this?
Yeah, we started out with the idea was that we could use it. Like if when we were in college, we would have liked to use this. I think the best educational tool ever is YouTube. So much content on there with creators who know how to educate in an engaging way. YouTube's amazing. So you go to YouTube, and then you sort of still need practice problems. You still need like auxiliary work to be done besides just the video. So anyone, in college, we started marketing to a college class specifically. We took a college lecture videos and converted that into, Miyagi courses using AI. So that was our original ICP. So yeah, a college student, anybody studying for a test, an exam, whether it be a professional exam with, you can find a YouTube playlist on a nursing exam, for example, and you convert that playlist into a structured course that you could do on the train to work or in any format, and have an AI tutor all be embedded and integrated into one platform. So you don't have to go from the video, go online to these random websites and then create a course or a plan yourself. It can be in one, have AI do it for you. So that was our initial, and that people like that use it. So we have college students who use it, or people who are just lifelong learners and just want to learn from the creators that they love the most. I know some people are using it who want to learn linear algebra in their later adult years, and yeah, like I use Miyagi to create a course from a playlist. But then there's enterprises who reached out to us when we launched saying, we have a bunch of internal training videos for our company that we want to convert into courses to train our employees. And we can save money by, one, not having to script these training programs or courses ourselves. We can have AI generated, and then we can edit from there and makes the timeline much quicker. Or they want to automate the training programs, like they have a human teacher teaching it, and they can make it asynchronous with Miyagi and track user engagement. Are they actually understanding the content? We use AI to see if you're understanding it, and not just like clicking through a PowerPoint and acknowledging. You can think of all the compliance courses or whatever you had to do, and it's not interactive at all. So enterprises, there's a big use case there. So we have 2 enterprises now using us for their training, employee training and new employee onboarding. The biggest pockets of customers.
Yeah, as you and I grew up, a lot of education technology tools that we started using maybe in as early as middle school or high school. We talked about Duolingo, Coursera was big, Quizlet for flashcards was big. There's been a lot of innovation in this space, but you've taken it back to the core that at the end of the day, the greatest place where we're all learning is YouTube. One that predated a lot of these new innovative ways of learning. What's your opinion on why YouTube is so great at that versus any of these other platforms, any of these other ed tech tools that have been built that normally aren't video based, but still might not have the same stickiness that YouTube does?
It's the creators. Like, you don't go to YouTube for the YouTube tech per se. You go because you enjoy the person in the video who made the video, or is teaching you something that you want, and you can select who teaches you. You can go to one creator. Like, the creators are the secret sauce with YouTube. But these creators, their bread and butter is creating engaging videos. They record and they edit those videos, and the content is good, obviously. But to learn, it's more than just sitting on your couch watching a video. It's taking a bit from Quizlet, or you know, questions and answers. It's like, pedagogically, one of the best platforms to learn, in my opinion, is Khan Academy, and that's different from YouTube. YouTube is great for learning, but to effectively learn something, I think Khan Academy has been great. I use it all through high school, even college a bit, and a lot of the videos on Khan Academy are on YouTube. But if you actually want to learn, Khan Academy is good because it has summaries, it has practice problems for you to actually practice, and sort of spaced repetition, and you see the same content multiple times. You get asked about it different ways, and then at the end of a lesson, you really understand the content. So you need this interactivity with the content that YouTube doesn't give you per se. It gives you the content in its raw form, but you have to digest it, and the digestion, that's where AI and technology can make it a lot better. So you can think of Miyagi Labs as sort of a decentralized Khan Academy in a way, for any content by anyone, not just Sal Khan himself, any creator. And that technology can be used by you, the consumer, direct to consumer, or by enterprises who want ed tech for enterprise learning, which is a huge market. So we're sort of decentralizing the Khan Academy plus YouTube uh, merge, you could say.
Yeah. Yeah, Khan Academy was certainly a big one, and I can imagine Khan wishing that the speed and variety that Miyagi is able to access, that's very different than when he started, and
Yeah.
the legwork it took to get that off while we were younger. I put together a little bit in your timeline that the TikTok ban and all that's happened over the last few months was in the height of when you guys were in the batch. And for us, we grew up with and alongside YouTube. And then there's a whole new generation where a lot of their learning happens through the short form videos, TikTok being one of them, and shorts and reels. Did you guys explore any other platforms and that you might want to do this with? I can imagine maybe not TikTok at the time because we weren't even sure it was going to be here in the United States. But yeah, is YouTube where y'all's sole focus is now, or could other video platforms do well with this too?
Yeah, I think other platforms can definitely do well with it. So Miyagi Labs is definitely tied to our second pivot. It's just not language learning, it's any sort of academic learning or any topic. There are a lot of educators on Instagram, TikTok. They teach, people learn on these platforms. It's true. And we think that's huge as well. And we can import those videos onto Miyagi and create a course out of them. I think for short form, it'll look different than the YouTube way because you have a longer video on YouTube and you can facilitate a back and forth with the video. Whereas short form, it seems like once you watch it, you don't come back to it. You slide up and you go to another video. So I think the modality may be a little different or something may change a bit, but we definitely are marketing to the creators on Instagram and TikTok or whatever short form platform to also create courses on Miyagi. All they have to do is upload their videos that they make and a course is created. So it applies for them as well. But yeah, I think YouTube is the biggest market right now, but creators on these short form platforms can definitely find value in Miyagi as well. If they want to lengthen their video time or ourselves will think about it a bit more how to do it. I had a conversation with a PM at Spotify, for example, and it's the Spotify education. And Spotify education, they're experimenting with courses where people want to learn from, podcasts, for example, how to create courses from podcasts. They're not doing what we're doing in sort of like you can answer questions and summaries. They're doing it just audio form, audio courses, like a playlist of different audio segments as a course to learn something. So Spotify is doing it. I imagine Instagram or TikTok, they're also potentially looking at it.
Yeah, very cool. Tell me a bit more about these creators that can find another avenue to monetize all of their content that they've spent a lot of time creating. Entire funds now that are dedicated just to investing in the creator economy in a way that certainly didn't exist even a handful of years ago. How big is that opportunity and what does that approach look like to serve that customer, which I would imagine would be a little bit different than college students or folks on the enterprise side that are the facilitators of the education or a lot of times the person who wants to learn versus the person who wants to teach. I would imagine that maybe their needs are a bit different, but perhaps not. What have you discovered on that side of?
Yeah. So what we've seen talking with a lot of these creators is that a lot of the big ones that are very successful, and even the ones that spend time educating on YouTube, they deeply care about teaching. They're passionate teachers and educators. They love thinking about how to teach effectively and engaging, making sure their content is accurate. The content is their brand. So, they don't sort of easily try to do partnerships or, dilute their content or put their content alongside garbage. Like their content is their brand. So they don't sort of move with the market just to make money. They're very steady with their craft. So when we went to creators, another reason why we had hope for the idea was because the feedback from creators, forget about learners, but creators was very positive. They were like, oh, this is very cool. This is interesting. We haven't seen anything like this. And, we're happy to do like a sample course and market it to our user base. So for that was a good signal because these creators don't offer to do partnerships like that or expose things to their user base that could push people away so they're very thoughtful about that. So when a lot of the big creators were like, this is interesting and this is something I'd be interested in partnering with and I will partner with, that was a great signal for us, given how they usually do business and how they usually operate in this space. Uh, so for them, one, they care about their viewers actually learning. So our platform is great for that. We want to help people actually learn, and we're not trying to offer garbage. And then they care about community building. They're in the market of building a community around their content. So for us, something we're working on is how can we make learning a community activity? Or how can creators sort of see the users that know their content the best, or the users that are interacting with their content the best, or trying to learn from their content the most. And they can give shout outs to these users in their videos and build a community on Miyagi. And you can think of another platform like Patreon, for example, where you can essentially just donate and have your name get shouted out in a video. You do all of that on Miyagi, but you can actually learn the content better. It's the value add is much more. Community building. We also have a group feature on Miyagi where you can be put in a group with other users taking that course. And have sort of this human-human interaction online with other people learning the same content as you. And the creators have access to all that data and all that engagement analytics. So for them, community building is huge. And that may not be the case for a learner. They may not care about doing it alongside other people. Some may we have that if you want it. But for them, they want to see it as community being fostered or facilitated. And if it is, that's great. That's what they do. And if Miyagi can help them build a better community or bigger community, great. Analytics, are people actually learning? For creators, I think they don't really care so much, but if you're a professor and you're using Miyagi to digitize your classroom experience, you may want to see, are people actually learning? Are they asking the AI tutor, the right questions? What questions are they asking? You can do that as well if you're, a creator or an educator or the, admin for an enterprise. You can see this engagement data, understanding data. And creators, the biggest way they monetize is through ads, sponsor ads. So Miyagi is basically another way to monetize existing content that they have, or if they want to create, a higher value added course or video, they can monetize it on Miyagi without much work. They don't have to script the whole course like other platforms like Thinkific or Kajabi or Teachable. AI is not well integrated in those platforms. With us, it's simply you upload the video, a link to the video, and AI does the work, and then you can edit from there. But AI literally does all the work. A lot of these other platforms, the best it'll do is create an outline for you. And then from there, you have to fill in the blank and flesh it out. It takes a lot of time. Creators don't have time. They record and they edit, and that takes a lot of their time already.
Yeah, huge time saver for sure. Over the course of this conversation, we've named several platforms that are somewhat in your space or are dipping in and doing a few things. So the landscape is pretty wide in terms of folks who I imagine have their eyes on you and are interested to see how things go. And it sounds like the emergence of LLMs on the scale that it is today was really what drove your interest in entrepreneurship and jumping out and wanting to do this. When you take a step back and think about what learning can look like, maybe over the next 25 years, what are things that may not even be great yet or possible yet? Maybe this chess is part of it. Are there any things that are still on the horizon or on the frontier that excite you about what's possible with learning as this technology continues to advance?
Yeah, I think two things maybe three things. I think at some point AI will be good enough to generate these videos itself, or generate sort of animations to explain concepts that humans had to do and video record themselves doing on a blackboard or using animation software. I think in the next few years, quicker than we think, AI will be able to generate a lot of these visual explanations that people went to YouTube for. AI can generate it. It's not there yet, but as these models get better and better, where it can generate video, it can generate images, it'll be able to generate probably a well done YouTube video explaining survival of the fittest by Charles Darwin. It can probably create a 10-minute video, however long video, explaining from 0 to 100 that entire concept. And you won't even know that an AI generated it. And you can say, have a human in and explaining it and talking like a YouTuber would create. I think AI will be good at that. It's crazy to think about. Avatars, you can have anybody be the teacher in a video or voice. If you really are into, I don't know, there's a famous, I think, a platform or website where you can have LeBron teach you or be the voiceover of any video. So if you like to learn from somebody or something, you can have AI make an avatar of that person talking to you, explaining something to you. So AI avatars, I think, is huge. And so the technology is actually pretty good now, not that bad, where creators have requested the ability to upload of audio sample of their voice, an image of themselves, and then have us create an avatar of them explaining in our AI tutor feature. And then learning path generation. So as of now, we rely on the creators to create the playlist or create the learning journey, how they best see fit, or how the educator sees fit. Whereas AI will be able to have access to a corpus of content and say, this is the journey you should take to learn a specific topic. It may be videos from different creators. Whatever learning path that may be, something we're experimenting now is, can we create a learning journey from available videos that may not be preset playlist by one creator, but can we take from many different creators and create a whole different playlist, generated playlist that's even better, that we think is better because of AI. So those areas I think are coming.
I got one last question for you that I've been asking all the founders that I'm talking to in this series. There's a lot that you could be doing with all of your skills and your talents, and a lot you can do with technology that you just described. Why this specifically for you? Of all the things you could be building, all the things you could be doing right now, what is it about Miyagi Labs that has brought you to this being the right thing for you to do right now?
I've always been passionate about teaching and learning, very core to me, and just something I just enjoy. I enjoy learning various different things and thinking about what's the best way to learn something. Learning over 5 languages and very thoughtful about how I learn these languages. Started a nonprofit helping people learn chess and creating an environment and what's the right resources or people to help teach effectively. So something I've been thinking about for a long time and thoughtfully for a long time, and think AI is a great technology to make learning a lot better for people. It's something that keeps me up. And I think for anybody who wants to be an entrepreneur, you have to do something that keeps you up at night, something that you will enjoy working on for 10 plus years, perhaps. And I think the market's pretty big. Everyone needs to learn. And even if AI gets so good where it knows everything and you yourself won't need to know anything, I think people will always enjoy learning, and there will always be a place for learning, no matter how good AI is. And chess is an example where AI is much better than humans at chess, but the chess market and desire to keep learning chess and get better at chess on the human level is at the highest it's ever been. Despite computers being much better than humans, people still find joy from playing chess and trying to get better at chess. Because at the end of the day, you compare yourself versus other humans, not versus computers. So I think there'll always be a desire and demand to learn and have sort of an independent knowledge of whatever it is that you want.
Thanks for listening to this episode of The Value of One, The Power of All, a podcast created by the Ron Brown Scholar Program, presented by the Ron Brown Venture Lab, and sponsored by Spira Capital. If you want to hear more inspiring conversations like this one, don't forget to click subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. And to learn more about the organization, check us out at ronbrown.org.